Hey, what's up everybody, and welcome back to News Dose. And we're going to start off the week with a big day for Xbox. Microsoft had a couple major announcements for Xbox today, including the May lineup for Xbox Game Pass. And yes, they are getting off to a very strong start for the month of May. There's a lot of good games here, so stay tuned for all that, plus a significant update for legacy games on the Xbox Series. That thing is really showing it's a beast right now. Also, new Pokemon Snap is proving exactly why Nintendo should bring more of their often requested games back for the Switch, so stick around for that as well. It's been a busy Monday though, so let's get right into it, starting off with Konami. Here in the last couple weeks, I've been pretty happy to talk about Konami, as it looked like they were primed for E3. As suggested in previous reports, Konami was set to be at E3, which I thought was one of the more interesting inclusions considering Konami has been silent for several years when it comes to console gaming. Now, we know there are several rumors floating around that some big Konami IP is making some kind of comeback. Both Metal Gear Solid and Silent Hill has been getting a lot of traction as of recent, with Konami being rumored to have licensed those IP out to other publishers. Metal Gear Solid possibly for Xbox, and Silent Hill for PlayStation, which would be interesting to say the least, but Konami over the weekend did confirm that they will unfortunately not attend E3 after all. They're saying this is due to the timing, rather than them not having anything to show though. In fact, they did point out that they do have a number of key projects in development, and that we should stay tuned in the coming months. So while we won't get an E3 reveal per se, it does sound like that they have some bigger announcements planned for 2021, so that's at least good news. There should be several events after E3, so maybe we could get some kind of reveal post E3. PlayStation, as an example, will have their own event at some point down the line, and if those Silent Hill rumors are true, maybe we could get an announcement there. I guess we'll see what happens, but I'm going to take this as good news because they did kind of confirm that they have some notable games in development, and I'm interested to see what those key projects are. And since we just mentioned PlayStation, the first major PS5 exclusive for the year launched last week, Returnal. Now, critics seem to really like this game as it has an 86 overall score on Metacritic, and even fans seem to be enjoying this game quite a bit. I have been hearing Returnal is a lot of fun, but since it's released it has been dealing with some different problems the fans are also pretty frustrated about, and this mostly revolves around the type of game it is. Of course, Returnal is a roguelike game where if you die, you have to completely start over from the beginning. Now, that's not necessarily a big deal in itself, as plenty of games do this, including last year's Hades, which went on to win several Game of the Year awards. The problem with Returnal, however, seems to be linked to its pacing, where a run can last several hours at a time without you getting the chance to stop and take a break. You can't save the game in Returnal, and some players fear putting their PS5 into sleep mode. So yeah, this is problematic. And on top of that, several players have complained about unexpected crashes in Returnal. Crashes in a game like this, especially during a long play session, can be incredibly infuriating. Housemarque is aware of this problem, however, though they claim this is a platform problem and not with the game itself. So this is something that Sony will have to update on the PS5 itself with one of those vague stability updates. But yeah, there's a lot of discussion about Returnal's lack of save system right now, and this is just the way I look at it. I think that they should allow players to save the game, but once you die, it should immediately autosave in order to keep players from simply reloading their last save file. I think that would be a good way of dealing with its problems, and could make each run a little less stressful by allowing players to save and step away for a while. I know I'm a busy person myself, and playing a game for 2 to 3 hours at a time is just not always possible. Well, the good news here is that Housemarque did say that they have nothing to announce right now, but they do hear the community. That's a good sign that they are indeed listening, so hopefully we get some kind of update for this game in the future. From everything that I've been hearing, Returnal is a good game. They just need to kind of make it a little bit easier to jump in and out of. Next up though, let's talk about the UK box charts, because we got some interesting sales data here. We did have a couple notable releases last week, with both Returnal and new Pokemon Snap releasing on the exact same day, and the good news is that both debuted at the number 1 and number 2 spot. Returnal placed in at number 2, though reportedly it is tracking lower than what we've seen with previous PlayStation AAA exclusives. Now, keep in mind that the PS5 doesn't have near the install base as the PS4, so it's hard to compare it to PlayStation 4 exclusives in recent years. I mean, recent PS4 exclusives were selling like crazy with a huge install base, where as of right now, it's just kind of difficult finding a PS5. We would instead need to compare Returnal to other PS5 only games, and really you only have Demon's Souls right now, so I'm not really going to look too much into it tracking lower as of this moment. I am curious to see how it does in the long run though, as I mentioned last week, just because a game like this is very different, and it's intimidating being a difficult roguelike game. We'll keep a close watch on how it tracks throughout the coming months, and I'll keep you updated on that. But the big one here is new Pokemon Snap claiming that #1 spot. This is something that we continue to see with the Switch, and new Pokemon Snap put up some crazy numbers in the UK, so let's check this out. As pointed out by GameIndustry.biz, it sold 4 times more than the launch of the original Pokemon Snap for the Nintendo 64. Yeah, it's getting off to a much faster start here, but just to compare it to more recent games, apparently it sold 2.5 times as many as the most recent Pokemon spin-off, which was Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Team DX. To make it even better, new Pokemon Snap is the 3rd best-selling game for a Switch title in 2021 behind Mario Bowser's Fury and Monster Hunter Rise. Yeah, that's good company to have, as both of those have been extremely successful this year, but this just goes to show you, if Nintendo brings back some of these often requested games, they can have a lot of success on the Switch. Fans have been wanting a Pokemon Snap sequel for years and years. A lot of fans, including myself, views it as the best overall Pokemon spinoff, and truthfully, you don't even have to like Pokemon for it to be a fun game. I know some people look at these games and wonder, what is so fun about taking pictures of Pokemon? But it really is. I loved it as a kid before really being introduced to the internet, and to my surprise years later, I found out all these other people loved it just as much as I did. There's just something oddly charming about Pokemon Snap, and trying to get the best pictures and then competing with friends and family as they try to capture better pictures. Regardless though, Nintendo finally brought it back, and it looks like they're being heavily rewarded for it. I do think that they need to do more stuff like this though. There's a lot of games fans would like Nintendo to bring back, and I think the Switch, with the amount of popularity it has, is the perfect console to revive some of these older IP and build an even larger fan base for these games. However, I am really happy to see new Pokemon Snap come back with this type of success. It really is a dream game to see it come back 22 years after the original. We need to talk about Xbox though, because they unloaded today with some major announcements. Right off the bat, they revealed the Xbox Game Pass lineup for the month of May, and what a great start. Let's check it out. You have Just Cause 4 Reloaded, Outlast 2, Psychonauts, Red Dead Online, Steep, FIFA 21, Dragon Quest Builders 2, Final Fantasy X 10-2 HD, and Remnant from the Ashes. This really is an awesome lineup of games, as each and every one of these games are high-quality experiences. Dragon Quest Builders 2 was the big surprise, and I own this game on the Switch, and I'll be the first to tell you, this is a must-play for fans of JRPGs, or those who just like Minecraft. I personally think that Builders 2 is better than Minecraft thanks to it being more of a focused experience with a fun story and actual RPG mechanics. This game could potentially really surprise some people because it really is that good. This is not just a building game, but it's also a legit JRPG. Definitely try that game out. Outlast 2 is also among some of the better survival horror games that released last generation. FIFA, of course, is super popular. Final Fantasy X is a timeless classic, and then there's Psychonauts. Now, it's not very often that we get high-quality 3D platformers anymore. It seems to be a bit of a rarity anymore, but Double Fine is working on a sequel to one of the genre's best ever, Psychonauts. Yeah, the sequel is set to release sometime in 2021. Yeah, I don't think this is a coincidence at all that the first game will release into Game Pass this month. I think a Psychonauts 2 release date might be imminent, and I am absolutely pumped to find out when that is. Here recently, they were sending out a survey to their backers asking about the name that they want displayed in the credits. So yeah, with them working on the credits already, it's only a matter of time before we get the official release date, and I imagine that's very soon. Now, the original game is kind of strange, but it's genius at the same time with a high level of creativity, and if you've never played this game before, go check it out on Xbox Game Pass this month. It's aged incredibly well and is still a lot of fun to this day. I highly recommend it. Looking through these new Xbox Game Pass games though, it really is a loaded lineup. Yeah, have fun trying to pick out which one you want to play first. That wasn't the only big Xbox announcement today though. They pushed out a massive Xbox Series update, and wow, the Xbox Back Compat team really are technical wizards. There was a rumor floating around last week that they were about to add a bunch of games to that FPS boosted mode list. Well, it was true after all, and more than what I was even expecting. They somehow managed to add more than 70 FPS boosted games, which is both amazing and crazy at the same time. Now, FPS boosted mode is where they double the frame rate for backwards compatible games on the Xbox Series, and this list is seriously impressive. You can now play games like Titanfall 2 and Prey at 60 frames per second. It's basically like playing brand new games on the Xbox Series. Going through this list though, you have games like Alien Isolation, Tomb Raider, several Far Cry games, Gears 4, Halo Wars 2, Yakuza 6, Wasteland 3, ReCore, and the list goes on and on. 97 games now support FPS boosted mode, and really this is just another reason to own an Xbox Series. When you make that jump to 30 frames to 60 frames per second, or even 120, it's hard to go back to 30. It is immediately noticeable and game-changing in my opinion. Then you also have that solid-state drive for faster load times. It's just a much better experience on the Xbox Series and a big step up from last generation. The thing I'm loving the most right now though is the Xbox Back Compat team is basically making these legacy games into remasters for no extra charge. If you own these games already, these updates are completely free, but it's almost like they're new releases at the same time, so I encourage fans to buy them if they missed out on them before. That's what the Xbox Series is doing right now though. They're revitalizing these already great games and turning good experiences into even better experiences. It's not just going to bring back returning customers, but it also prolongs the life cycle for these games as they give customers another reason to buy said game. I just love this so much, and I even saw a thread earlier today where people who bought games for the PS4 are going back to rebuy games on the Xbox because they want to play these games again with better frame rate. Yeah, it's pretty evident Xbox is doing something right here with their support for backwards compatible games. I mean, for consoles, it really is the best place to play a large library of games thanks to their dedication for backwards compatibility. Moving on though, we did also get the May lineup for PlayStation Now, and this is yet another solid lineup of games. For the month of May, subscribers will get Neo, Streets of Rage 4, and Jump Force. All three of these games are really good, especially Neo and Streets of Rage 4. I think those two in specific are excellent, though per usual, when it comes to PlayStation Now, they're sticking with that 3 to 6 month time frame. Jump Force will only be available until August, whereas Streets of Rage 4 will leave in November. I would really like to see Sony increase this to a full year consistently. Now 6 months is doable, I guess, but 3 months I just don't find acceptable. And the reason I say that is because with a subscription like this, you have to choose what game you play next carefully. You obviously will not be able to play every game unless you play non-stop because people do have a limited amount of time. So I just don't think 3 months is long enough to give people a chance to play through multiple games. And they are making a habit of doing these 3-month-long games. I mean, it looks impressive when the game is first announced until you look at the fine print. So yeah, I would like to see them address these very limited releases. Before I go though, let's take a look at the poll of the day. And to start the month off, I wanted to know what new release in May are you most looking forward to? And the final results were pretty much expected, with Resident Evil Village taking first place. This is potentially a Game of the Year candidate, and it does look excellent so far. I'm very excited about that game, and I know fans really like the Vampire Ladies, but I found second and third place to be really interesting. Biomutant and Mass Effect both were very close to one another, and that's a good sign. Obviously, Mass Effect is very popular, but it seems like quite a few of you are really interested in Biomutant. That is a game that I've been looking forward to for years. It's been delayed several times, but it looks to have a lot of potential. I do like the art style, but more importantly, I think the gameplay looks good. I do have high hopes for this game. If you didn't already know what this game was though, well, now you do, and definitely pay attention to it as it releases on May 25th. Anyways though, that's it for this episode, but if you liked the video, don't forget to bell notification and subscribe button for more content just like this. Also, if you'd like to support the channel through Patreon, thank you for making this content possible. Peace out.